Cauldron Lake is like a wishing well. Stories told to it have a way of becoming true. Usually these are done by accident. Urban legends, folklore, and mythology reflecting back from its dark surfaces into the world. However, on occasion there are times when these oddities are more deliberate. Sometimes the forces at work in this place are taken advantage of with intention, whether selfishly or out of desperation. Way back in 1957, we have one such event, one that involves a happy couple, Vern and Norma Bergdale. Their marriage lasted 43 years until one day they both shuffled off the mortal coil. Not in some shared misfortune as would be presumed. Vern and Norma were on opposite ends of town when they both dropped dead in the same moment. Upon investigating, the cause of death was determined to be natural causes. The local newspaper claimed that this event was proof that the two, quote, truly shared a soul. If we are to take this literally and not poetically, the idea is not new. Aristotle once wrote, "Love is composed of a single soul in two bodies." These days, it is known as the twin flame. This is an intense soul connection with another individual, sometimes referred to as a mirror soul. While it would be nice to think the Bergdales share this degree of emotional connection, there is evidence that something more nefarious was occurring. There was a witness to Norma's death. A woman named Betsy Segerstrom was present at the time of her collapse. She reported that Norma, quote, seemed to exhale a small black cloud before she collapsed and died. In addition, private letters from a local archive were uncovered after their deaths. In one, it was claimed that Vern had made an unsavory bargain, and that strange forces were involved in their demise. The identity of the letter's author was never revealed in Clay's research. These two details paint many different possibilities over what happened. Some deal was made with dark forces. We are so used to the lake simply reacting to stories, but in this situation, it appears that Vern went down to the crossroads, or in this case, a lake to strike a deal. The nature of this deal is never revealed. Details surrounding what occurred are sparse. That being said, I'd like to throw on the writer's hat and try to tell my own story about what may have happened. While we cannot say for sure, I hope it is at least plausible. If anyone has other ideas, let me know about yours in the comments below. We all know the stories around Cauldron Lake tend to rhyme, narrative patterns playing themselves out throughout the decades. In this rendition of the tale, Norma passed away young, just as Barbara did, while Alice simply vanished. Taking after the two men who came after him, Vern sought a way to bring her back. Both of these men in the future wrote a story to bring back their missing loves. In my head, Vern did something similar. In doing so, he summoned dark forces to the surface, a figure to make a deal with. But what words were used to accomplish this? It is common to use writing as a therapeutic tool after a loss, expressing oneself on paper rather than openly. Others may draft a love letter to the departed, telling them everything they were unable to say in life. Vern using his words as a means to express the emotions raging inside after her passing. It is common with the death of a loved one to feel as though part of your soul has been ripped away. A promise to walk onward, carrying their memory forward as we continue through life. Or that we would sacrifice anything to bring them back. What would happen if this kind of poetic language was noticed by the lake? Or worse, what happens if the paper was thrown physically below the dark surface? Could it have summoned some kind of Faustian demon? If so, could a deal have been struck that made these common phrases of grief come true? The memory of her he carries with him physically becoming real, animated by the fragments of his soul that was severed by the grief of her passing, her own true soul long gone, having faded away with her natural death. After all, it is common with these Faustian deals to wager one's soul. In this case, it just took a different form. Instead of giving it to the demon to own, the soul forms the basis of his resurrected love's existence. But is this really what happened? Could an actual entity have risen up and bargained with the man? Or did Vern write a love letter after her passing and drop it into the lake? One so emotionally charged that the dark place molded his words and shaped them into reality. If either of these scenarios is accurate, then the local newspaper was right. It truly was a case of one soul occupying two bodies. After 43 years together with the memory of his dead love, Vern eventually died. Whether that be due to natural causes or simply the time limit on the bargain was over. What we know is that upon his death, Norma collapsed as well. After all, the spark which animated her was dependent upon his life. Once his soul left the body, the other half of his soul left hers. But is that what really happened? Again, there's not enough information to say, and this story is mostly just my projections, one based upon similar events that occurred in 1970 and 2010. As stated earlier, this is a tale heard often in this part of the world. Stories here tend to rhyme. Tom made a twisted attempt to resurrect Barbara, leading to the dark presence returning in her skin. Alan attempted the same and sacrificed his freedom to grant Alice hers. Both men who lost their love and sought a way to bring them back. Vern and Norma occurred 19 years before Tom and 53 years before Alan. If anything, this could be the original version of that story. And as we know, each of these three scenarios did not turn out as intended, but that's expected when one uses the dark lake as a wishing well. The intentions are lost by the time it reaches the bottom, and something more sinister bubbles up to the surface.
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe to receive updates on future uploads. If you would like to help support the channel, a Patreon has been set up and the link is in the description below. Have a great day and peace be with you all.